Ahlul Bayt. If you hold on to these two things, you'll never go astray till you meet me at the pond of Kawthar. You've got to hold both of them together. Shaitan makes it a point that we forget both of them. That's his battle. His aim is to make us forget both of them. At least one of them. Because Rasulullah said both, not one. One wouldn't work. The Quran has to go with the Ahlul Bayt. And the Ahlul Bayt have to go with the Quran in our lives, so that for us to attain salvation and to see Rasulullah on the Mount of Kawthar. That is the point. We have to go together. The problem, you know what the problem is with the followers of the Ahlul Bayt? They are always happy to commemorate the Ahlul Bayt, but not take the Quran with themselves. And on the other side, they take the Quran is enough. Alas, over there. Doesn't work. They have to go together. Both of them have to be followed. If you leave one, we go astray. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So if we have the correct knowledge, what does it do? It protects us. If we have the right people around us, it protects us. That is why we are emphasis on the family. You know, we are supposed to be having a loving family where a lot of care and nurture is done for each other. Husband to wife, wife to husband, and parents to children. All across the family, there has to be love and care for each other. Now, Rasulullah said that marrying is my sunnah and it is half the deen. Having a loving partner gives us comfort and protects us from sins. It is important for us to have a family, to have a partner in life. It's a tendency of human beings to look for love. And if they don't find love in the right manner, then they will go towards sin. Now, let me digress a little bit here. People generally want to get married. Some people don't want to get married. That's fine. You know, I'm not going to be legislating here for individual people. And I don't have a point of view on that. That is individual choices. But I just wanted to convey what Rasulullah said. Now, there are also some people who struggle to get married. And there are issues in our society because of which we struggle to get married. And it is incumbent on each of us to make sure that if somebody you know is trying to get married, you help them to get married. It's incumbent on all of us, not just an individual thing that a Maulana has to help, or an Alim has to help, or my mother has to do it, or my father has to do it. Each and every person in society, make sure, look out for each other, each brother and sister, and make sure that you help them. Because we know in society there are lots of people who cannot get married because of certain reason or the other, although they would like to get married. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Rum that He created spouses from amongst us so that we dwell in tranquility with each other. And verily these are the signs from us for those who reflect. It's important word here, reflect. In the Quran, Allah uses this word a lot. Reflect upon things. So it's one thing to learn something, but if you don't reflect on it, revise it, you tend to forget. And that is very important. The Quran is a book of reflection. We need to learn from the Quran and think about it and ponder and understand what it's saying and keep reflecting on it. It's a book not to read it once and leave, and then you have a bit of a party that you've done the Quran once and falas. It's not like that. It's a book of learning. It's a book of guidance. Quranul Hakim. It's a book of hikmah, wisdom. And we need wisdom all the time because of the distractions we have in this world. So Allah talks a lot about reflection. And when He says that we dwell in tranquility with our spouses, tranquility is an encompassing word. It's about, tranquility means peace, it means calmness, and there's a happiness that you get when you're calm and peaceful. Everybody. It's not about the money. If you're rich and you're not calm and peaceful, you might struggle with tranquility. You won't have the tranquility. So, tranquility is a word which talks about peaceful calmness and coexistence, sharing and caring about others. Parents, you are the first teachers of your children. And Rasulullah said that children should be taught at home till the age of 7. Only then they should be sent out to school or wherever they go to. Now, teaching actually does not begin when the child is born. The education of the child actually begins right at the time when you're looking for a spouse. That's the time when you think about a future family, and you look at a spouse which will give the right values to the children that are going to come in the future. And that is important. Now again, I'm going to emphasize this thing. Teaching is not about telling. It's about doing. It's about showing how it is done. A lot of people, parents, want their children to recite the Quran in the morning. And they tell the children, okay, read the Quran at least 2 lines, and then go to school, or then go to play, or whatever it is. So the child says, no, I'm not interested, I will do it tomorrow. And the parents are upset about it. Children, you should always listen to your parents. When they ask you to recite the Quran, even if it's 2 lines, recite and then go ahead. But for the parents, if the children are struggling to do it with them. Sit down for 5 or 10 minutes. Even though you're very busy. Either you're too busy or your child is not that important. You can weigh your own priorities. If you want your child to have a certain habit, then you should show it to him or her. And you do it for 5 minutes and let him go. Khalas. Don't need to, overburden the children with things that they don't want to do it. But if you do it slowly and little, they'll pick it up. And when they see you doing it, it's the easiest way. Even if they don't feel like it, they'll say that my dad or my mom does it. That means, because parents are role models. That means this must be some good for us as well. So let's do it as well. And children will automatically get into a habit of doing it. Now, for spouse selection, there are 2 main criteria. One is akhlaq, or the character, and the second is the religiousness of the spouse. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that if a proposal comes with these 2 characteristics and it is declined, then there will be great fitna in society. What it's saying is, Rasulullah is saying that these are the most important attributes for a person. For a woman to look for a man, and for a man to look for a woman. And marrying for beauty or for wealth or social status or something, those things fade away. They can fluctuate here and there. But if you marry for faith, Allah will make sure that you get the wealth. Whatever it is in our destiny. Now, wealth is not always about finance or material. Wealth, the biggest wealth, as I mentioned, is contentment. If you're content in a 1-bedroom house, with whatever meager income you make, and you're happy, the thing is, your world is happy. If you have a 10-bedroom house, and you're happy, then your world is happy. You don't need 11 bedrooms. Although 10 bedrooms is a bit too much, I think, for anybody. Unless you have 20 children, that's different. That can happen, and you need them, resource them. The point I'm trying to make here is that if you're content with what you have, then your life is happy. End of story. And you won't hanker or strive in such a manner that your life gets preoccupied and your priorities get disturbed. That's what I'm trying to say here. So, as I mentioned yesterday, these are great tools for shaitan to break the marital life, expectations. You know what the world does nowadays, especially the media? They create false expectations in people's life about marriage. How it is like, going to be all rainbows and all fun and games and holidays and good food and going out here and doing there and all that stuff. These situations are there for a good life. You need to have a good holiday at times. You don't have to have it every year. Like in our country, it is emphasized. You need to have at least 1 holiday. Sometimes people have 2 holidays. But you don't need that. It's good to have, but it's not a need to have. What it does is it creates false expectations. Somebody who is rich can afford to have 2 holidays in a nice location, fly out to some foreign country. For somebody who is poor, can't afford that. He can't even afford 1 holiday. And what it does, it creates in his mind or her mind, if they don't have contentment, that family will be struggling to do that. And their focus and priorities are going to get shifted. This is how shaitan works. False expectations. And a lot of advertisements you see on holidays and going out and good food and all that. Alhamdulillah, these are graces of Allah, but we need to use the grace of Allah properly. We will be wise in that. Life is not all about glamour and glitz and comfort and holidays. Life is, in reality, we all know it. It's about challenges that we face in life. We face challenges together. There's sickness in life. People are sick. Some people in families have disabilities. These are the realities of life. There's no glamour in this. And if we don't stick together as a family, we struggle to cope with these things. Youngsters and elder people, all of us. We need to realize that life is not glitz and glamour. The realities are harsher, and we have to learn in life and go together with the people who really matter. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now let's look at this glitz and glamour for just a short minute. Even if you get something, let's say I got a new phone today. 1 year down the line it will be obsolete because there's another one coming. And then you have a new phone, you have a new laptop, you have a new computer, you have a new car. Every time there's something new coming up. And you want a new house, and you want a new spouse. That becomes dangerous then. When you start changing spouses for the sake of, trying to find happiness, it's a bit different. That's really serious now. And that is where families break. This struggle to get more and get newer things, or to be up to date, is a misnomer. It is a downfall for anybody. Because what it does, especially for us as people who consider ourselves religious Muslims, it is not the right focus. Our priority is the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. If we stick to them, we feel success. We feel contentment. And that is what we want in life. Because it'll stand us in good stead in the hereafter as well. Shaitan loves discord. He's the happiest when a man and wife are fighting. Not just a small argument, and that is also a happiness for him in any case. But when a man and wife are separating from each other because of some unhappiness, some discord, that's when he's the happiest. Don't let Shaitan win. Okay? If you see mommy and daddy fighting, remind them, Shaitan is winning. Don't let Shaitan win. You get it? Tell them nicely. Don't like shouting over them. And older people realize this. Me realize this. If we argue and fight, Shaitan is winning. Either we are the party of Shaitan, we are controlled by Shaitan, or we are the party of the rightful people. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We spoke in the previous night how great Lady Fatima Salamullah alaiha and Lady Zainab were. And don't hesitate with the salawat. Even if you have to interrupt, go for it. No problem. People say that, it was easy for them because they were from honorable households. They were noble people. One grew up in the family of the Prophet, and the other one grew up in the family of Ali and Fatima, Lady Zainab Salamullah. So it was, they grew up with it. What about us normal people who grew up in these distractions of the world, and we don't have the right morals all the time. We are struggling at times in ourselves, in our own characters. What about us? But we see the caravan of Abu Abdullah Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. There were different kinds of ladies. They all stood by Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They didn't complain when the hardships came. They struggled and they coped and they stood by Imam Hussein. Nobody turned up and said, "Oh, Imam, we're all thirsty and we're all hungry. Why did you just give your allegiance, and we'll get water and all that?" Astaghfirullah. Nobody said that. Because they had total trust in Imam Hussein. They knew what he was doing was right. And today we're going to speak about one such woman who was Rabah, the wife of Imam Hussein. Now, she was a daughter of a noble person by the name of Qais. She bore Imam Hussein Sukaina and Abdullah, who is also known as Ali Asafat. And Imam Hussein said in a couplet that I love the house in which there is Rabab and Sukaina. And I love to spend time with them. And I love to spend my wealth on them. And nobody should criticize me for that. This is how much Imam Hussein loved them. Now, poets generally are given this license, they can exaggerate and praise and all that. And we do get carried away sometimes as well in poetry. We start to believe that this was true. Certain things that are said in poetry, about Karbala as well, and in general in poetry, we start believing that this was true. This is sometimes poetic license. But when an Imam says something, he never exaggerates. It's the truth. He always speaks the truth. And this is how Imam described his wife, Rabab and Sukaina. She was a knowledgeable lady, a very pious lady. And she got proposals after Karbala as well, after Imam Hussain had passed away. But she refused. She refused to get married again. She wrote in a poetry, and I'm going to read the paraphrase of this for you. Very touching, very touching. She wrote that the illuminated one lies martyred and buried in Karbala. O son of the Prophet, may Allah reward you favorably